Hi everyone, in this tutorial I'm going to walk you through how to do a short beginner combo. This combo is more high beginner, so you will need to have a few basics under your belt like knowing how to do a forearm grip, a climb, and some other basic spins like figurehead. And airwalks is also highly recommended. For this combo, I'm going to walk you through how to do each transition step by step. So each skill, as you move towards it, it's always a great idea in any combo to make sure that you feel very confident in doing each skill independently before you try to string them together. So in today's combo, we're going from a climb into some airwalks and then into a figurehead with more of a princess grip variation, and then going into a corkscrew variation. So like I just mentioned, definitely have your climb because that's where we're starting. The airwalk that you're going to be doing is with a forearm grip, so you need to make sure you have those at the minimum, and then having your figurehead will also go a long way. And corkscrew, that is something that you can play with today if you've never done that before. So the first thing you're going to do is go up into your climb. You can do this combo in either direction, but I will be going clockwise. So in this direction, this is my left hand, this is my right hand, okay? You can climb as high as you want. It also depends on how high your pole is. I have quite a bit of height here, but you can easily do this combo with just one climb off the ground, as long as you have enough distance between your feet and the floor when you go into your airwalks. So I'll show you how to do the first transition going from climb into your airwalks. If you already know how to do airwalks, then you should be pretty familiar with this transition already, but I will walk you through it. So to come up into your climb, you can come into your climb however you would like. There's a million different spins that you can do to get up there, but one of my favorites is doing a snowflake spin, which involves your forearm grip. So as you come into your forearm grip, I'm going to swing my outside leg around, bring my legs into a triangle, and then slowly tuck them up into my climb. From there, I'll do another climb up. So my right hand is high. My left forearm is now on the pole. Making sure I have a good grip there, I'll take my legs down, reach them towards the floor, and then I'll start to walk them in the air. Okay, and for now, you can just return your legs back to a climb and come down. Okay, so that's the first transition that you want to feel very solid in, especially in that forearm grip in your airwalk, because having this forearm grip and feeling very strong here is going to help you feel very strong going into the next transition. So I won't spend too much time on the climb to the airwalk, because if you know how to airwalk already, entering into that from a climb is how you would typically do that. So if you're not yet feeling comfortable in that transition, I just recommend practicing doing one climb up, setting yourself up into your forearm grip, and then releasing your legs from there. The thing that I do want to point out, though, to make sure you're doing is which direction you're going and which arm you have on the pole. So when I went into my airwalks, remember I said I'm going clockwise. So in this case, for the rest of the combo, my right hand is high in my airwalk, and my left forearm is down. Okay, so I'm here, and then I'm walking in the direction that I'm spinning. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're not turning like this. That's also slightly different type of forearm grip. There are many different grips you can do in your airwalk, but for today's purposes, you'll want to have outside forearm across your chest, and then inside arm reaching nice and high, making sure you're engaging the shoulder and pulling the shoulder blade down. When you go into the next transition, which is going into that variation of a figurehead, the reason why you want to have a really strong forearm grip is because going into that next transition, your inside arm is going to remain high, and you want to feel very, very strong in the grip in the top hand. So if I were to just show you the grip change going into that figurehead position, it would look like this. So I'm here in my airwalk position. From my airwalk position, what's going to happen is I will end up hooking my bottom leg into a figurehead first, But in terms of the arms, what you'll want to do is release this forearm off the pole. You can keep your hand on the pole though. And then as you push forward into this variation of your figurehead, this hand stays strong. You're really engaging the shoulder and the top hand, but your hips are coming forward. And this arm, it won't be in a true princess grip, which would be up here, but it will be in a little bit more of a choker grip. So your elbow will be across your throat, and you'll end up like this, and you will end up looking back, okay? And at this point, your top arm is doing most of the work, as well as the grip that you will have in your bottom leg. So if we involve a slow walkthrough of the bottom leg now, in my air walk, I'm here, my legs are off the pole. To go into my figurehead, I would start by hooking my inside leg here around the pole. And then once my inside leg is hooked, then I push my hips forwards and end up in this choker grip position. And this is where, as I push my hips forwards, my forearm comes off the pole and I end up in a slightly different grip. Let me show you from this angle. So again, forearm grip, legs are off the pole. I hook inside leg into my knee pit grip, forearm comes off, hips come forwards, and I end up in this choker grip. Sometimes when I do this transition, depending on where my forearm is placed in my airwalk, I might even adjust my hand up a little bit when I land in that choker position if needed. But you do want to make sure that when you're going into that choker position, you don't want to have your hand like way up here. You also don't want to have it down here because it's going to block your chest from going forwards. And you do want to make sure that your chest does go forwards when you go into this transition. Okay, so let me show you what that actually looks like. So I'll come up into my airwalk here. Okay, and then I hook inside knee, hips come forwards. I'm going to adjust this hand high. And now I'm in my choker grip. Okay, so that's the transition into the next skill. So you're going from your airwalks, your forearm grip, into this figurehead variation. And to make it really pretty and create a little bit more line, like I mentioned, you want to open your chest and create that back arch and let your head really tip back as well. Let's look at it one more time, but I'll throw in everything from the top. So we'll go from snowflake, climb, airwalks, into this figurehead position, okay? So snowflake, climb up, set up your forearms for your airwalk, legs come off, try to walk for like one rotation, then you hook inside knee, adjust your outside hand if you need to, push your hips forwards, chest out, head back. Okay? One more thing that I'll point out. When I go to hook my inside knee, I like to bring the front of my ankle of the other leg onto the one side of the pole as I hook my knee, or on the opposite side of the pole. So when I'm in my airwalk here, as I go to hook my inside knee, I also bring this foot to the back of the pole and I keep that leg straight. So I'll end up from here to here. And I just use that leg as a balancing point, but your leg is going to end up in that position, so it just creates a smoother transition, because when you go into your figurehead, you'll want the front of your ankle to still be touching the pole of your outside leg when you push your hips forwards, right? So you would be here. So you can think about moving both legs into that position at the same time to create a smoother transition, and also to make sure that your outside leg doesn't just end up floating in the air. You want to make sure it's involved. So that's the first little bit of the combo. The last skill is a corkscrew variation. And this one is going straight from that figurehead variation into the corkscrew shape. So we have a little bit of a grip change again. From your choker grip here in your figurehead, the first thing you want to do is bring your top hand down into a bicep grip. So now you're here. So inside hand goes from straight to below and bent. And you really want to make sure you get it deep in your armpit because that's going to impact the amount of grip that you have going into this corkscrew variation because that is going to be one of your main grip points for this one. Okay, so that's the first thing that you need to do. Go from choker to bicep. Once you're in your bicep here, this inside leg in your figurehead, that's going to stay the same grip this entire time. And you're using that to maintain grip and control throughout this entire transition. So when you're switching the hands, you're obviously releasing the grip in the top hand. So you need to make sure you maintain your grip everywhere else. So this hand and the inside leg. Okay, so you switch it down here. And now once you're in your bicep grip, again, keep this leg active by pulling your heel up towards your butt, and you're continuing to maintain the grip in the back of the leg and like inside calf area. Hips will remain forward. The thing that's going to change now is the outside leg is going to come up, so your knee will pull up towards your chest. And as your knee pulls up towards your chest, this hand that was in bicep grip, you're still going to squeeze here, but you're going to release the hand, reach it across, and try to hold the outside of your knee and lower thigh area. So you're really squeezing in this area, and the goal is to take this hand off so that you're holding here. And this is the corkscrew variation. You can see how the only other grip point that I will have on the pole alongside here is this leg, because this leg will continue to remain hooked around the pole, okay? So I'm going to show you what that transition looks like. I'll skip the first little bit, and I'll just go right into figurehead for my climb. Then I'll show you the transition, as well as the change into the corkscrew variation. So I'm here, figurehead. Now, my top hand transitions down, bicep. Outside knee comes up. I release and squeeze with my armpit here, and then try to take my other hand off. Okay? To release, you come back to bicep grip, and then stay in your bicep grip if you can. You can throw in some other airwalks as you slowly release your grip and bring it smoothly down to the floor. You can come out of that a bunch of different ways. That's just how I'm coming out of it today. But you do want to return back to your bicep grip, because from a bicep grip, there's a million different ways that you can exit. But if you are trying to go to the floor, then you could try that other variation of an airwalk and slowly releasing your grip on the way down to create that smooth exit. So again, as you saw, I maintained this grip the whole time. I went from choker to bicep. And then once I was there, my knee came up. I caught the outer knee. And then once I felt really secure in this grip, then I released my other hand off the pole. It might feel a little twisty. You might feel some grip on the side of your leg or side of hip and butt area. But all of that is needed to help you secure that corkscrew variation. Okay? So that is the full combo. Now let's do it from the top together. Of course, if you're still working on any of these individual parts or transitions, get those down first. Always start by breaking up the combo before you try to attempt doing all of it at once. And the more you do it, the more smooth and easy it will become. So coming into snowflake to start, I have my right forearm on. My left hand is high. My outside leg will lead. I tuck up. Switch my hands, forearm grip, air walk. Legs connect to the pole. Adjust my bottom hand a little higher into chokers. My hips come forward, head goes back. Top hand comes down, bicep. Outside knee comes up to chest. I catch the outer knee. Outside hand comes off into corkscrew. I return my outside hand, then bicep grip, and then release. Slowly bring it down into my airwalks, and then feet lightly land on the floor. So there you have the full combo. If you'd like to learn more combos like this, you can learn them with me on fembodystudio.com, where I have a free 7-day trial where you can get full access to the platform, including all of the tutorials, all the programs that are in there, as well as the live classes that I run quarterly in our seasonal immersions and programs. If you want to check that out, you can check it out at the link below, fembodystudio.com. I'll see you next time.